An evicted house guest won. 100 days. Reindeer games. Years have been taken off my life experiencing this season. But here we go. Welcome to the season that broke me. It took 20 plus years, but I don't think a season of reality TV has done the things this season has done for me. Thrown me for a loop, and I leave this season feeling confused. This will be acting as my review of the latest season of Big Brother, BB25. With the standard review style I will be using, just going week by week, talking through how I experienced the season through my POV, with a slight twist that you will see later on in the video. As for a general statement talking about this season before I dive in, Big Brother 25 was a lot. Just a lot. A clear tale of two halves that nobody can deny unless you're a psychopath, in which case you probably aren't watching this video. But a season that started so strong and was being hyped up by everybody who watches feeds, seeing mess week after mess week after mess week, but the bottom fell out. Whether it's the horrendous competition outcomes, the god-awful twists, or the unlikableness of the cast towards the end of the game, there is so much that made me want to gouge my eyes out and almost not make this video. But I would be doing myself a disservice if that happened, so I'm here. I want to appreciate the first half of the season, and then get ready for the horns to come out. If you want to hear how much I dislike this endgame, stay till the end of this video. I think it'll be worth it if you feel the same way I do. I'll stop babbling. We got a lot of Big Brother to cover, as you can see by the length of this video. So let's take a journey. Whether you like it or not, we're going to dive headfirst into what this season has become with Big Brother 25. Where in the hell does one start with this pre-jury? The longest pre-jury in the history of Big Brother. Nearly 2/3 of the game was spent in the pre-jury. There's no other place to start than the premiere, our introduction to this cast. And I hope you know this cast by now. It's been over 3 dreadful months, but the main takeaways from the live premiere were how terrible Big Brother is at doing a live premiere. This was 90 minutes of nothing. 4 different BB Multiverse comps, 4 losers from each comp, being automatic nominees, I guess, those being Jared, Kirsten, Felicia, and Corey, sending Corey to the Scaryverse. Man, this premiere's really sucked. Oh my god, is that Suri motherfucking Fields. Alright, I changed my mind. This premiere is the one. I remember where I was when I watched this, and I saw Suri there, and then they announced Suri was going to be a player. I freaked out. I was like, okay, this season has potential. This season is going to give however long Suri is there. Despite a lot that goes on here, I think Suri, by far, was a positive, and I'm happy she exists. However, we can't move on too fast without talking about Izzy Fields, because Izzy instantly clocks that Jared and Suri are related, and kind of takes Jared aside, basically submitting herself within the Fields hierarchy. The start of one of my favorite characters from the season in Izzy here. She's a gem, and we'll get to all of it. However, the rest of the first week is pretty much a stepping stool for the future weeks. Riley wins the first HOH, taking off Corey and Jared from the block, which I didn't mention, but the first week, the way the HOH works, you take off 2 of the 4 nominees, and the other 2 are the nominees for the week. And the first Power Alliance is formed. Riley, Blue, Jag, Matt, and Cameron form the Handful, the core group, while creating the bigger Power Alliance in Family Style. However, silly little Family Style added Suri Fields' son into it. No shade to the Handful, they literally had no reason of knowing that Jared was Suri's son, but that instantly kills this alliance from the second Jared is told about it, which will lead to the other side of the house kind of making a counter alliance to take down Family Style. First, it's the bye-bye bitches, Felicia, Suri, Izzy, Mimi, and fucking Bowie Jane. However, later, the larger alliance of the other side is the Professors, with basically the quote-unquote older cast members with Suri, Heim, Izzy, Felicia, Bowie, Mimi, and Red. That is the true power structure of the game coming out of week 1. Pretty much a split house. And the 2 people who were not involved in either side are the people who leave this week, which is Luke, who, as we all hopefully know, gets expelled for saying the N-word. I don't feel a need to give this piece of trash the time of day. Shitty person. Handled himself terribly outside of the show. And not to mention the portrayal of it all in this episode was really weird. And just kind of icky to me. The scene was so minimalized, with Heisem saying he didn't even hear Luke say it. Or having Jared be the main narrator who did absolutely nothing about this and even kind of came to Luke's defense. I don't really have a place to say on how Jared should have acted in this situation, but I don't think it's a good look from the outside looking in. And Luke goes out pretty much not even being trashed as much as I think he should have been for literally saying the N-word. Thank God Corey was there at least to speak up about it. I'm excited for Luke to fade away, and nobody will remember him for anything except for the guy who said the N-word on Big Brother 25. See never. The much less problematic figure was poor Kirsten, who was pretty much screwed the second she lost that comp. She's not exactly the greatest player in the world. She never made those genuine connections that she needed to stay in the game. And with the first week, the week nobody wants to get blood on their hands, she was the casualty that had to be sacrificed. I will say though, that is some bullshit that they still went through with the eviction even after Luke's expulsion. We could have been saved from one of these bullshit non-eviction weeks in the future if they just let Kirsten stay and cancel the eviction. But they didn't, and week 1 is over. However, the fun will truly start after this first week. Week 2 is the week of Heisem. I don't think I'm going to talk about a single thing that doesn't involve Heisem this week. He's an absolute gem. And I don't think I'm crazy for saying that Heisem's reign of terror could have been part of the peak of this season, unironically. And it all started with this goddamn HOH comp, which I kind of really loved. It was the perfect amount of stupid and was really unique. And in a show like Big Brother, where they just repeat the same competitions with a different backdrop season after season, seeing this Scaryverse themed comp had me laughing so much I couldn't help myself.
Neither Gorgon got me.
And of course, Jared absolutely blows it and basically gifts the HOH to Heisem. And thank God he did, because now we get to experience the week of Heisem. Off topic though, there is a nether region twist that's really fucking stupid. Jared gets sent for getting second in the comp. He then sends Jag, who sends fucking Bowie Jane, blah blah blah, I don't really care. Back to Heisem, because he has one mission, and that is get Riley out the game. Being way too openly honest about targeting Riley to Riley's face, with Cameron as his backup target, only because he's a Hufflepuff. I love Heisem. And just Heisem is just so messy, so direct, so insane, and I wouldn't have it any other way. He reeks of old school Big Brother, and I love that because I love old school Big Brother. And Heisem is so perfect, and seeing someone like that in modern day Big Brother kind of freshen up the live feeds or freshen up the episodes. Yes, give me that all day. And when I tell you that this veto episode of week 2 was one of my favorites in a long time, that would be an understatement. The goal is make sure Riley does not win the veto. And what happens? Riley's entire alliance gets selected for the veto comp. In a 5v1 of fucking course, Heisem still wins the veto. And Heisem doesn't use the veto because duh. However, I'll never forget these iconic sound bites he gave from this episode alone.
This is how you win the game, right? Right? Jag. Oh, the irony, Big Brother. Everyone would have taken Riley off the block, but I won. And now I can finally send her home. I'm not gonna pretend. I won't pretend with her, right? Because she needs to learn this lesson.
However, we aren't allowed to have nice things here, and despite Heisem giving us absolute gems in terms of entertainment, it's been his absolutely abysmal gameplay that basically disconnects him from everyone in the house. People are rubbed the wrong way by his constant need for Riley to leave. He completely takes over and kind of dictates the professor's alliance meeting and their alliance as a whole, and was a little tad bit way too fucking messy when trying to still make connections with the other side, which will lead to a plan by the core of the house, Suri, Izzy, and Felicia, to plan on backdooring Heisum even as early as next week. We aren't quite there yet, and despite the vote actually flipping at one point to save Riley, the vote eventually flips back, and Riley still gets evicted unanimously, who was fine. Honestly, she didn't bring much drama or great gameplay, but I do think she got a terrible HOH outcome after her HOH and kind of paid the price for it. Good for Riley for friend-zoning Matt in the house. That was nice as Maddie Tate got humbled. However, due to later things in the season, this will not be the last I talk about Riley, unfortunately.
1, you are worthy, and 2, you are pure gold.
Miss Felicia is the HOH week 3. Oh my god, this season is giving, with the oldest woman in Big Brother history winning the HOH. Hell yeah. However, one man still has my heart, and you will not get me to stop talking about Heisum, because another week, another time for Heisum to be the center of attention. He's instantly the backdoor target, and it's not even really debated upon. Jag and Cameron get nominated as the pawns, and here is where I will stop down and talk about a few things that were major topics at this point and need to be shined upon. The behaviors of some of the house guests. The spotlight for this week in particular is Jared, a man who kind of proves to have some troubling opinions, especially on women, where he constantly refers to women as females, is very much obsessive with body counts of other women, doesn't really see an issue with a man sleeping with a woman on a first date, but sees an issue if a woman does it with a man. What? What are we talking about here? And then to pair that with his icky behavior on the Luke situation, Jared turned from a preseason favorite to the bottom of a very, very gross barrel in 3 weeks' time. And he also has a showmance with blue. Oh my god, I mean blue. Sorry, it's a little slip of the tongue, but I'll get to blue too. Jag wins veto. Corey was serving ass.
The term I keep using is serving ass. I don't know if that's exactly TV friendly. It's probably on the fence.
And somehow they didn't show this on the show, but the core went through a lot of options as a backdoor target instead of Heisum. Ultimately, they landed back on the Heisum move and promptly backdoored his ass. Now here's the time. Do we get an enraged Heisum about to go on the offensive? No. We actually get something so much scarier. Depressed Heisum. This man was pulling on my heartstrings so badly this week. He genuinely felt so betrayed that his own alliance turned on one of the most loyal members who was dominating the competitions. I think for television it was a lot of fun, but as a game move, this was absolutely a mistake, especially not getting rid of Cameron, who became quite the pain in the ass later on. However, once again, for the second week in a row, the core 3 want to flip the vote and keep Heisum because of how remorseful he feels and how loyal he would have been. And I genuinely do think this plan would have gone through if not for Mr. Corey shutting down the flip. That happens twice, by the way. But one of my favorite things about this whole situation with Heisum is all the way back in week 1, Heisum had this super weird one-sided hatred of Corey. This was only on feeds, by the way, but he wouldn't give him the time of day and just didn't want anything to do with him. And now here he is. The main reason he wasn't saved from his own back door was because of how poorly he treated Corey week 1. Poetic. And Heisum is evicted unanimously, our third unanimous vote in a row, and unfortunately, that becomes a trend this season. But of course, we have to lose Heisum here, and I'm not being dramatic when I say Heisum is one of my favorite pre-jury characters of all time. screw that, favorite characters of all time. Every single second he was on my screen, I was loving everything he gave me. On feeds, he was utter chaos. In confessionals, he was so bad, it was actually kind of perfect. And just was a complete flame out on the show, and I don't think I could have asked for anything more from a third boot. Someone I wish would have lasted much longer. But I'm still happy to have this outcome too. I love Heim, and I need him back on reality TV ASAP.
The last 24 hours, you worked hard to get votes to stay.
I sure did.
But ultimately,
Girl, why?
how about
I would say that makes sense. Yes.
This season just decided, nope, I'm not going to slow down at all. And this week in particular gave me something I was never able to experience as a fan of Big Brother. It was one of the weirder but more fascinating experience of my time as a Big Brother fan. You know, it's the pressure cooker. This is just awesome, and it made me really happy to watch live. I don't think it disappointed by any means. While we go through the pressure cooker, there are a few things to update on with the house dynamics at this point. First things first, Suri? Queen shit. Has alliances literally everywhere around this damn house, as she should. She's been running the game, and I would expect nothing less from the queen. Next is the start of America and Corey. AmeriCorey, baby. These two were playing with my heart the entire season up to this point, and the start of their showmance being a will they, won't they, was so good. I was glued to the live feeds just to watch them mess around and talk. I loved it so much. I kind of think I'm insane. But there's a lot more to get to with them, and eventually I will. The final notes is I absolutely despise Blue's confessionals. It's like Gen Z morphed into a person, and like I don't hate Blue. She seems kind of normal and seems fine, but right when she enters that diary room or right when she knows the cameras are on her live, she is the single worst thing on every single episode. Who told her to do that? Who the hell asked? It's so bad. Now the pressure cooker itself served. The second longest competition in Big Brother history. They didn't put some stupid twist, none of that stuff to ruin the feel of the pressure cooker. It was literally holding onto the button as long as you can, nearly lasting 14 hours, ending with a Cameron and America showdown, which will end in America making a deal with Cam to protect her and Corey for the week, promptly throwing the HOH, giving the man who has been the Pawn Star slithering his way into power. Oh, you know this is gonna be good. The game is gonna shift and we're gonna see some new people scramble.
I have nominated you, Jag, and you, Blue.
Alright, what the fuck? I could rant about this, but I won't because it doesn't even matter. So much shit happens this week, it hurts my pea-sized brain. Now, Cameron, who didn't nominate the big threats because he's determined that this Legend 25 alliance is the real deal. Spoiler alert, this is not the real deal. And then of course we have Jag over here, who to this point has proven nothing except that he is a terrible player. And he's convinced that his alliance, the Seven Deadly Sins, is going to save him this week. A couple of dum-dums they are. But hey, we get more dum-dums because Jared the dummy dum-dum tells Blue that his mother is literally in the house. And Blue, the super duper dummy dum-dum, does not give a shit about it. What is happening and what am I watching? Anywho, Red wins the veto. There's talks about potentially backdooring Izzy, but you know old reliable Legend 25 would never betray each other, so the veto isn't used. What is Big Brother 25 post-veto without Suri, Izzy, and Felicia talking about a vote flip? This vote to keep Jag. However, in order to complete this blindside, they need one more vote. Jared to vote out his showmance. Oh yeah, you can imagine how this power struggle went between the mother and son. And while I do think Jared is kind of a horrid Big Brother player, this was good for him. Don't just let some of your closest connections walk out of the house. That will probably be one of the only times I praise Jared for the rest of this video. Savor it. God damn, this week isn't over yet? Oh my god, the twists keep on twisting. Because the power of invincibility is incredibly dumb. America, the country, not the person, does a public vote. And the top 4 vote getters will secretly get a chance to win a power, basically being the equivalent to an immunity idol. The day of one of the next 2 evictions, you can choose to use the power on one of the nominees. If that nominee gets evicted Thursday, they are saved and the eviction is canceled. The top 4 voted were Cherie, Corey, Matt, and Jag. And of course, it's Matt that ends up winning this power, beating Corey by 8 seconds. That's 8/10 of a Kyle. Damn. Regardless, Matt tells only Cherie that he won the power, solidifying this Matt and Cherie duo that is really important for most of this game. And the eviction is pretty standard. Jag is evicted 10-0, which does suck because even if Jag kind of sucks as a player, he's a good enough person up to this point. And seeing his blind confidence be shattered was really sad.
That means the house guest you just voted out is now invincible.
Oh shit. Oh shit. The power. Oh my god, the power is used. And this moment here was a blindside for all of the audience, casuals and superfans alike. We don't get that much in a lot of Big Brother because we're watching these things live. So this was a really cool moment and a really cool end to the most action-packed week thus far. Unfortunately, it gets topped like right away. Big Brother 25 is really good at making pretty standard weeks insane and extremely stressful. To reverse back to the Jag blindside and then the double blindside with him being saved, Matt had actually told Jag before the eviction that he's using the power to save him, pretty much solidifying these two as the eventual duo of the season. However, there is some mess that happens here. Cherie was the only other person that Matt told about the power. Cherie tells Jared, her son. Duh. However, of course, you gotta leave it up to Jared the dumbass, wanting to be the center of attention, and then tells Jag about the power potentially being used. And when Jared gets in eventual trouble with his mommy for being an idiot, he patronizes Jag. Excuse me, what? Don't you mean you're dumbass for being a terrible player? God damn, why does this not get through Jared's thick skull? But of course, it wouldn't be Big Brother. After all these shenanigans, Jared wins the knockout comp and is the new HOH. And for a quick fucking second, Jag and Blue, 2 of the most frustrating Big Brother players in recent history, although a lot of players this season were frustrating, have a moment of clarity. It took Jag getting literally evicted 10-0 to finally realize he's not in as good of a position as he thought. And maybe Cherie is, and that she's the one running the show. However, that kind of goes literally nowhere, but for like one night, right after the HOH, it was really cool to see Jag and Blue not be terrible players. Too bad, I don't think they ever redeemed themselves. The plans before all hell break loose was pretty simple. Nominate the Chillbilly duo of Cameron and Red, with Cameron as the obvious target. So this week should be easy, right? Wrong, because here comes Jared, who just has something against America for some goddamn reason, and has been convinced she is throwing comps. Because she hasn't won a comp, she is completely worthless to him. He didn't actually say that, I'm just connecting the dots for how this loser of a man thinks. And America getting chosen for a very important veto sends him off the rails. A big dynamic thus far into the season has been the big brother, little brother dynamic between Jared and Corey. Except Jared is an idiot. So they get into a tiff because Jared is convinced America is gonna throw the veto, leading to America basically being pressured into having to try really hard for this veto, or her ass is grass.
Jared is strong in his convictions to the point of stupidity.
But of course, right on cue, Cameron, the main house target, has won the veto. Oh lord, so much is about to go down.
Cam got it.
Yeah. Wow.
Bam! Ha-ha!
America gets into a lot of hot water as Corey and co try to calm down the flames and somehow point this direction anywhere else. On the other hand, however, Red heard some information about Cameron, quote-unquote, throwing him under the bus, and now kinda hates Cameron, and the two chillbillies break up. No! But of course, and I mean of course, all of this drama ends by the bumbling idiots of Jag and Blue bonking their heads together for a genius idea. Let's make Jag the replacement nominee. Oh so smart. And the majority even thinks that's a great idea now. The only issue is, Jag is now the target, but he doesn't know that. After getting evicted 10-0. Cameron comes down, Jag goes up, and the stage is set for Jag to be evicted unanimously in a blindside back-to-back weeks. For anybody who for some reason thinks Jag is not a terrible player, let me introduce you to pre-jury Jag, an absolute idiot. And the only reason Jag is not evicted this week is due to Red's birthday. Now, the main reason the majority actually want to keep Red and vote out Jag is because of the separation of Red and Cam. They are much less threatening as individuals here, especially if Red is devotedly loyal to their side. However, Red talks to Jared and pretty much says he wants to reconnect with Cameron, get them back together again. And no pun intended, the red flags are going, instantly turning this into a vote flip, and eventually by a vote of 8-2, Red is evicted. And we have a true blindside here, where Red, fucking Bowie Jane, and Cameron are all shocked by this vote outcome. This is huge for the majority. As long as Cameron or fucking Bowie Jane don't win HOH, it'll be smooth sailing.
We have the new head of household, Cameron. Congratulations, Cameron.
I'll celebrate. What do we have? Hi.
I do not care who asked. The absolute disgust by everyone, the silence, Cam awkwardly cheering for himself was so perfect. It felt like old school Big Brother, like when Jen Johnson won the Week 2 HOH. I loved everything about it. And of course, it doesn't disappoint me anymore. This will bring us to the final week I'm ready to talk about in full without any disgust or disdain or boredom or hatred. The best week of the season, and it's not even close. It's just a true shit show after the first true blindside of the season. Fucking Bowie Jane, the single worst person I've ever witnessed playing Big Brother, has her feelings hurt. She was left out of the vote here. And like, in theory, you'd feel for FBJ here, but with the season we know existing in front of us, I could not care less about fucking Bowie Jane, because she could not care less about the game. I get to talk about some more fun things than fucking Bowie Jane here, because Cameron's one serve on this entire season was this week right here. Everyone is giving Cameron that same old BS, acting like the entire house didn't just blindside him. But he's not falling for any of that nonsense. However, part of Cam's master plan is to buy into that, telling the entire house he's nominating Jag and Blue. Even telling that to Jag and Blue. Also, there's this one of my single all-time favorite live feed moments ever that exists here. It's so good.
Well, you know what, Jasmine?
Who is Jasmine?
It's a whole new world.
When we arrive to the closest thing to a Key Wheel nomination ceremony we've gotten in years, it's a hashtag Pie Blindside, as, by everyone's surprise, even the feedsters, Izzy and Felicia, are the nominees. Oh my god, all hell is breaking loose, and I love it so much. Is it a great move for Cam to end up winning this game? No. But there is no move for Cam that he could make that wouldn't make him the target the very next week. So yes, please go against the grain. Go against the power. It's wonderful to watch. And seeing the downfall of the other side in one fell swoop was everything. Felicia instantly riding out Suri and Izzy, and Cam's master plan isn't even close to finish. Because while Izzy is who he would want out, if anybody happens to come down with the veto, Suri is getting backdoored. Which is like good stuff, but there's no situation in which Suri is getting evicted, so why don't you keep that to yourself and not tell her secret son about that plan? He's telling her secret son about that plan, isn't he? God damn it, Cam. It was going so well. I'll pause for now, though, and talk about a couple of duos that are really starting to form here. America and Corey in a romantic sense. The will they won't they has turned into a complete showmance. Kissing for the first time, and I'm so here for it. I'll wrap up their story in a little. And of course, Matt and Jag, the Minutemen alliance that proceeds to take away all of my happiness for the rest of the season. But both of these formed this week, so I have to mention that, unfortunately. Jared gets handed the fucking veto because why wouldn't he? And doesn't use the veto to protect his mom from getting backdoored. This, unfortunately, is the start of the end of the season. But of course, we have to get a great move to cap off the peak of the season. And I will be giving most of this credit, if not nearly all of the credit, of this move we're about to witness to America. As we know it now, the plan is set for Felicia to go, blindsiding Cameron once again on his own HOH. However, America is here to expose to Cam that, for one, he was the target last week, and if he didn't win that tiny veto, he'd be gone, exposing that he actually can't trust Jared for shit, and his position in the house isn't secure at all. That is stage 1 for America. Stage 2 is convincing her showmance, Corey, to go along with it. And the key piece of evidence that America uses is that Matt told America that he was the one who won the power, and that Suri told him she also competed in that path to power. And when this information is relayed back to Corey, he realizes how complacent he's been playing. He's been coasting on the idea that he's been in a good spot with the power structure. But if Suri's telling Matt about the path to power before telling him, he is way down the totem pole in Suri's mind. So if he's not in a great spot here, why not take back the power and create his own structure? Oh yeah, we're off. Corey works on Jag, exposing to him that he knew about the 7 deadly sins, that fake alliance Jag still thinks is real, and that he's in a separate alliance, the for real alliance. Basically has the exact same core in it, realizing that core is kind of playing the middle and playing everybody with it. And that work will stem off to fucking Bowie Jane, Mimi, and Matt all being integral parts and votes for this flip. And they are all actually down for it. Oh my god, it's happening. We're about to get an Izzy Piggy blindside, baby. But it's not all smooth sailing because on the day of the eviction, day 44, a pretty fun day in the Big Brother world, turns into a complete shit show and blows the game wide the fuck open. And I'll be trying my best to break all of this down. The morning of the eviction, Suri has that Suri Spidey sense kick in, pretty much convinced something is going down here. There might just be a blindside brewing. So she talks to Jared about this, and you know Jared, he needs to get to the bottom of it all. So his master plan this morning is to tell Matt and Corey a lie that Jag exposed to him that they are keeping Felicia. And when he tells him that pisses off Matt and Corey. They had this plan set, and Jag had to ruin it. And I'll give Jared some kudos here because this is very on brand of what Jag would do, and very much believable considering they actually are flipping. However, it's obviously not going to work perfectly, and I'll get to that in a moment. After some shenanigans, everybody wants to settle on what is actually going on here. So a meeting happens up in the have-not room, and we are about to witness the best fight we have gotten since day 44, all the way back in BB21. It's Jared versus Corey. Here we go. I loved so much about this. This was the genuine first fight I've watched on the live feeds as it's happening. I remember where I was. I remember smiling the entire time just watching these two blow up their entire games for the viewing audience to see. Seeing Jared get destroyed in pretty much every aspect, caught in lie after lie after lie, not being able to recover from any of it. Some great sound bites came from this fight too.
Who's for real, for real?
Did you tell him about for real, for real?
Who's for real, for real?
Really? So I know it's probably very confusing to you viewers at home, so welcome to Corey's Strategy Corner.
I brought my tone down, so stop yelling at me. Number one.
Jared, you've been yelling for 40
Corey,
minutes
just said I
straight.
brought... That's a good seat.
Just sitting on the pier watching the boats go by.
Did I ever do that?
No, you never
No,
said that to me.
I never did.
You never said it to me. You must have misunderstood.
No,
When's
no,
the-
whoa.
So moving forward today,
I think
final six guys.
And then his literal mother comes in and basically is able to save Jared from getting dogged even more. Unfortunately though, it's too late. He completely severed his connection with Jag for lying on his name, completely severed his connection with Matt for trying to exploit his disability, and of course, completely severing his connection with Corey by having a fight with Corey. Mess, 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 mess. And Izzy Piggy is voted out in an 8-1 vote after the fallout.
Oh no, I'll be seeing you soon, pig. You too, pig speak. See you soon.
And I loved Izzy on this season. I think this is genuinely a tragic vote losing Izzy this soon. She was giving on the live feeds. A core reason, if not the reason, the first half of the season was so damn good. Votes flipping all over the place, and Izzy was right in the middle of that. Unfortunately, that never transferred to the actual edited episodes on the show, but feedsters know, we all know how important Izzy was to this season, and I love her hatred for Cameron. That just gives me life. Izzy was a massive thumbs up this season. Unfortunately, the run will end here. This will be the end of my review in the standard style I would be doing, which is going week by week, talking about things, because I am and was very frustrated with Big Brother after this week. If a season sputters a little at the end, that's fine. I'll still do a review, and it's pretty much par for the course for most seasons unless you have Dan Giesling at the end. But this season free falls. This isn't even up there with the BB20s of the world as far as terrible endgames go. This surpasses BB20 as far as terrible endgames go. To voice my frustrations in a way that doesn't bore me to death week by week, I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I will dive headfirst into each of the major issues I had with the endgame one at a time. The big bullet points that have annoyed me will get taken off the board one at a time, just so I don't have to jump all over the place and can voice my full thoughts on each topic as I go. I'll do my best to talk about these points as chronologically as possible, but sometimes I will be jumping, so sorry in advance. Unfortunately, let me break down what almost made me not make this video, which was the endgame and the death of Big Brother 25. The first issue immediately follows where we stopped the good part of the review, and it's the zombie twist. Now, I've already made a video when the zombie twist was happening, talking about why the twist is so terrible. So, breaking down the schematics would just be repeating myself. Just watch that video if you want that side of the twist. But I have no idea what Big Brother was thinking here. Creating an entire week to stall and have absolutely nothing happening killed the momentum of the season. And to pretty much nullify 3 rounds of gameplay and 3 weeks of the show just to give us a Jared eviction is complete bullshit. This is down there as one of the worst twists of all time, and the season never truly recovered after this. Possibly the biggest reason the zombie twist sucked so much, going into my second point of contention with the season, is the double evictions. This has always been one of, if not my favorite night of every season. You're watching a week of Big Brother play out live. It's such a unique experience, and even if it's bad, at least it speeds the game up. But the doubles on this season, sucked for two completely different reasons. The first double, on paper, by a lot of the online audience, was cool. Seeing Cameron and Jared get sent home in one night, two of the most controversial figures to the audience, felt perfect. However, with the zombie twist in play, it all felt meaningless. Like none of it mattered. When Julie revealed to Cameron he isn't out of the game just yet, you realize whoever got evicted after Cameron was also getting that same chance. So, seeing Corey win his only comp of the season in an extremely satisfying way, seeing Matt take the veto, lie straight to Jared's face, and Jared getting taken out of the game was disheartening because I couldn't react genuinely. All of it was for nothing. Jared was going to walk right back into that house, and one of the only exciting nights in the entire show was a waste. It didn't matter at all. Not even a little bit. That sucks. And the second double eviction was an excruciating watch. That's because this one was actually just downright terrible. I was losing my hope for the season, but I told myself, if this double eviction ends with a power shift, one of the top dogs getting knocked out of the game, I'll feel better and excited for this endgame. And, oh my god, Suri is up 2 points on these people. She might just get it done. No. Completely chokes, and the worst possible outcome wins the HOH. Fucking Bowie Jane. And of course, FBJ decided today was the day she was going to completely give up on the game. And will not be winning this game because she guns for America and Felicia. Oh, she's so terrified to nominate the oldest woman and the house target. Oh my god. And of course, Matt wins the exact same veto in the first double eviction. Except this time, they want to make sure he had an advantage over everyone else. And trust me, I will get into these comps. Oh, I will get into these comps. But that just leaves us with the worst outcome. America goes home in a whimper. And Jag won none of the competitions in the double. And he got to sit pretty. Not even stressing for a second that he would be targeted. Bullshit. Oh my god, this is getting me fired up. So, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tackle the issue that probably bugs me the most. Not probably. This bugs me the most. It's the incompetence of production. And I'm going to lay into production right now. And all the fucking issues I have. The first issue is the motherfucking competitions. This has always been a precedent in modern Big Brother. Most vetoes in general are physical competitions. And of course, 60% of the HOHs also include a physical component. And the endgame is just a shit show. 90% physical bullshit, whatever. But I think this season emphasized on how absolutely terrible and incompetent production is. If casting is going to do a good thing and cast an older skewing cast, the third oldest average age cast of all time, in what universe does it make any sense that the older house guests have no chance of winning 75% of the competitions? And I'm not being dramatic. The prime example is the double eviction veto that Matt won. There is absolutely zero reason you need to run back and forth into a goddamn ball pit to grab these popcorn kernels, whatever the hell they were. Karen Armstrong is to thank for this information, but Matt was able to take 7 shots into his tube during that veto. Suri and Felicia took 3. He doubled them and then some in the same exact amount of time they had. When you need to land 4 balls into the tube because they only got 3 shots because of the physical part, Felicia and Suri had a 0% chance at winning that veto, even though Felicia landed 2 out of 3 of her balls. And Matt landed 4 out of 7. If you do the math, Felicia was doing better than Matt, but because of the physical aspect, she could not win. That's called incompetence. And the thing that grinds my fucking gears the most is Jag. Not Jag as a person, although doesn't seem to be doing great. I think he's a good enough guy. But for this man to be the quote-unquote comp beast of the season annoys me to no end. And I hate that Big Brother is a game where Jag can bank on winning out and voting people out based on who is better at competitions. That shows a flaw in the game. So, I'm going to play a game. I will be going through all of the competitions Jag competed in, and we will be saying the winners of every single competition that did not have a physical aspect in it. Basically, the comps that you didn't have to be the best sprinter for or the strongest to win. You know, something called balanced and equitable comps. By the way, this is all before the Final 5 competitions, so just keep that in mind. The Week 3 HOH, Felicia won that. The Pressure Cooker, Cameron won that. Path to Power, Matt won that. The Knockout Comp, Jared won that. The Soulmate / Double Eviction HOH, Corey won that. The Booth HOH Comp, fucking Bowie Jane won that. And the Swinging Discs Veto Comp, Jag won that. I'm not a math guy, but Jag, you seem to have gone 1 for 7 in competitions that aren't physical for the sake of being physical. And that one comp he did win, I think I was being generous because that is an endurance, and I do separate endurance from physical, but when we're talking about swinging discs, this might be the most physical endurance out there. You're kind of lucky you're not actually 0 for 6. We aren't crazy when we talk about wanting equitable comps. It's supposed to be an equitable game. And the thing that gets me the most, notice how in all 7 comps I just mentioned, a different person won each one. Oh my god, it's almost like having equitable comps means that everybody has a chance to win. Who would have thunk it? This isn't a boy who cried wolf situation. The literal statistics back this up, and I'm so tired, annoyed, and just frustrated that it completely ruined seasons of this show. This has been an issue for years upon years upon years. If we wanted physical challenges, I would be watching the challenge. So Jag, please sit down. Sure, you won a lot of comps, a shit ton of comps actually, but I am not calling you a comp beast. You are just the most physical guy in the house, especially after Cameron left. And oh baby, we aren't even close to done with you, production, or with you, Mr. Jag, because there is no world, no galaxy, no universe in which the Invisible HOH should have been handled the way it was. How dumb can you be? Jag is the Invisible HOH, tells the entire house, and then gets to compete in next week's HOH. And of course he won it. But no, do not get me on this. Even if he didn't tell anybody, not a soul, it was actually an Invisible HOH. Literally 2 seasons ago with Claire, she had to throw the next HOH because she was the Invisible HOH last week. Why the fuck is Jag able to compete to win the very next HOH? That is the entire structure of Big Brother. You cannot compete in the following HOH as the outgoing HOH. Complete bullshit. And you cannot give me a single good reason why that exists, other than laziness and Big Brother not caring about Big Brother. But oh no, we're still not done trashing production, because tell me fucking why Matt and Riley are more favored by production than Corey and America. How in the fuck? Riley was gone week 2. Riley friendzoned the fuck out of Matt. Matt plays this game thinking, what would Riley do? Get this Andrew Tate supporting weirdo off my fucking screen. And then, of course, Riley on the outside, growing more and more fond of Matt as he gets closer and closer to winning, is hilarious. Get your bag, girl, but fuck you, production, for having Matt's HOH letter be from Riley. That is validating his delusions all fucking summer that he's been obsessing over this girl that he knew for 2 weeks. 2 of them. That is production interference. And fuck you for doing that and showing your favoritism. Meanwhile, over in the corner here, we got Corey and America actually being boyfriend and girlfriend, saying I love you to each other, and are actually in the house. Instead, they get the funny, dorky edit, kind of trashing on them more than praising them. Like, their relationship is kind of a joke. Fuck you, Big Brother. Fuck you. I'll stop bitching about the season's issues for now, and I'll backtrack a little bit. I do want to give the remaining house guests love or hate for the ones I haven't talked about in depth yet. Pretty much up until the final 4 here. Then we'll wrap this shit show up. All the way back with Jared, one of the most polarizing characters on the season. On the show, I hated him. I wanted nothing more than for Jared to leave the house. Not only for my sake, for Cerie's sake, to better her game, for the rest of the house to not have to focus on Jared, and for, honestly, Jared's sake, to take a step back and see the things he said and the things he's done and reflect on that. And I actually believe he did that. After he's gotten off, he's taken accountability, apologized, and I believe moved forward in the right direction, which is very rare for these people who leave Big Brother after some controversial actions. I don't hate Jared as a person. He definitely said some poor things, but if he leaves the house and looks to be doing a lot better and is able to take accountability for his actions, hell yeah, I'm happy for him. Shade to the people who keep saying he feels PR trained as well. I don't think it's a crazy thought to think he learned from some of his mistakes. I'm pretty confident I was Jared's number one hater at the time of the show while he was on it, but in hindsight, he brought a lot to the show and was a big part of the chaos that was the first half, despite a lot of poor actions and words, which I obviously will not excuse fully. Now, someone I'm just frustrated with. Mimi gave me nothing this season aside from a couple of storage room rants. A very capable player that was so passive it makes fucking Bowie Jane look like Dan Giesling. She had so many opportunities to turn this game in her favor, especially right around the Izzy boot week. But she stayed in her lane, didn't go over the speed limit, just stayed at the same pace. And I hate players like that. I would say she has potential, but I don't want to see her play again in fear she will do the exact same thing. The most Mimi thing I've ever seen is her being the most active she's been all game after getting evicted when she called out Corey, America, and fucking Bo Jane. It's a complete nothing, and I'm kind of sad to see her run good a waste. Daddy's home, it's time for Cam, who, whether we like it or not, was a main character this season. When I look back at the good times, the fun moves, there's a few that will be involving Cameron. Maybe because he was either nominated or won a comp every single week, but that's none of my business. Even if I do think he's creepy and was way too obsessed with America, he played bold and he will be remembered this season. And is kind of one of the biggest locks to ever return to Big Brother or return to reality TV from this cast for sure. But seeing his downfall twice was pretty fun to watch. Worth the price of admission. I would be disappointed if I didn't talk about these two together, but I will also give them their time to shine. However, Ameri Corey were a massive bright spot this season for me. My favorite showmans of all time, probably. I don't think it's crazy to say I adore these two. They weren't the typical showmans you see. Like, yeah, they made out a lot, but like there's other parts that they were great in. I know they are both great people. The quote-unquote normal people in the house, as they would say. I want these two to last forever. I just love them so much. But it's a complete travesty somebody in production just kind of hated them. Because they were shaded by the edit, and I'll never forgive them for all of that shade they gave this duo. But I can sleep well at night knowing that they will be the only successful showmans from this season. Mark my words. As for them as individuals, I have never understood the Corey hatred by some people. If you just don't want to root for him, that's fine. It's the point of these shows. But he's arguably one of the best people in that house. Never made anything personal. Understood this was a game and made sure everybody felt included in some way, shape, or form. So, coming for him on a personal level is pure ignorance. Especially with some of the people we have in this house. AKA all the other men aside from like Heim. Corey was my winner pick before the season started. And to see him come up from having all of the viewing audience convinced he was the first boot to getting within the power structure to being a part of the biggest move of the season, aside from winning the game, I don't know what more Corey could have asked for. Especially when comps are such a major factor. Corey will be one of the first three names I will always remember from the season. Main character energy. And America. I still don't think she's given the full credit she deserves. She got an unnecessary amount of hate from some people online, which is just really gross. I think people hated these two because they weren't your typical Ken and Barbie showmans. Cry about it, bitch. Regardless, America was great. A true superfan, just like Corey. Not the greatest player in the world. Very far from it, actually. I was really annoyed by her never being able to stop leaking information. But come on. I thought her confessionals were gold. I love how she just didn't give a fuck sometimes. And if America could have won one goddamn HOH, I know she would have devoured.
What the? Why? Literally, why? What's going on? Jag. That too.
Kitty kitty purr boots down, slay, bitchin'. The rest of them, yeah. Blue's gonna be the last one I talk about before I go back to hating myself in this season. Why did Blue have to create this character, this facade of Blue? I'm not stupid, Blue. We're not stupid. We watch you 24/7 on the live feeds. The Diary Room act is horrendous. It makes me hate watching you. Why can't you be a normal person? You are so much more likable that way. This quote from Taylor Hale got Taylor some hate for some reason, but it's true. My favorite moments of Blue are when she was sad, because that was genuinely Blue, not this fake person who was jealous over America's entire existence. And I think Blue has the potential making of a good player. Keeping the Jared and Cerise secret was so pure, and I loved it. Why couldn't Blue do more of that at any other moment on the season? I didn't need 65 kitty kitty purrs. Or kitty kitty purr. I don't even know what the fuck it is. I don't care. Be a normal person, and you'll be so much more likable. And I wouldn't leave this season thinking negatively of you. But I do. Oh my goodness gracious. It's the final 5. I'm sure something awesome is going to happen, and we couldn't possibly get a steamroll. Oh damn. It's a knockout comp. Oh damn, Matt wins the HOH. Hey now, on the bright side, Matt told Suri she will never touch the block if he gets in the power, so maybe this will be the time he makes a move. Oh nar, the Toxic Trio made a final 3 and plan on steamrolling. Suri and Felicia are the nominees? Oh darn. Well, at least there's the veto, you know. Oh shit. Jag won? Dang nabbit, at least Matt is gonna fight for Suri to stay. Oh wait. He's not pushing back at all. Suri is going home? Oh my god. The Toxic Trio proved to be really terrible people with Operation Pressure Cracker. The goal to literally torture Felicia by making her think she's going home and keeping her up all night so she doesn't win the HOH. Torturing the 63-year-old woman is your master strategy. And who would have thunk it? The edit of Big Brother uses its handy-dandy magic eraser to point the edit so that Jag and Matt are the victims of Felicia. Pretty much trying to call out Felicia for being ableist in some way. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck are we supposed to do with that? We spend an entire week losing our minds because these 3 people have nothing better to do with their lives than to trash everyone else who has left the house, say some terrible things about Suri and Felicia, and you have the audacity to be like, well, I think this is Felicia's fault, and this doesn't fit our narrative, so we're gonna make sure the casual audience thinks Felicia could potentially be ableist by trying to use Matt's disability to her advantage. That is bullshit. That is stupid, and I don't even have the right words to explain how angry that makes me feel. When I watched that episode live, that was the first episode I watched live in weeks, because I was done with this season. I'm over it. But no, you have the audacity to pull that shit off and not give us a genuine storyline. It makes me hate this show sometimes, and I love this show. I've watched Big Brother for so many years, and you pull off this shit constantly. Why are you protecting your pretty people? Nobody gives a fuck. Just give us the real story. I'm over it. God damn it, Big Brother. You fucking broke me. You broke me. There's no show on television that just makes me hate watching television as much as Big Brother does sometimes. I'm just glad that the public is going to eventually hold these people accountable for their terrible actions, because clearly Big Brother doesn't give a fuck. And then Suri will get taken out because they hate making us happy. Suri was a blessing to watch. I think she will never do reality TV again because of this shit. Good job, Big Brother. But to see her play and socially dominate was fascinating. And I'm not going to take that for granted. 44 straight days, Suri was the queen of the game. Had all the power, all the sway, and all the influence. If it wasn't for her son being a terrible player, or Felicia just having it out for Suri, she still could have won the game at the end. And that speaks so many volumes to how amazing Suri is. One of the greatest to ever do it. and we got to see her for 93 days. Thank you so much, Suri. I will remember this as the season of Suri. But we gotta move on to the Final Four, and fucking Bowie Jane wins the Final Four HOH. Who gives a fuck? Matt and Felicia are nominated. Jag wins the veto. Her. But I mean, like, Matt is right there. Obviously, he has to take the shot at Matt. If he does that, he wins the game. Like, literally wins the game. And at one point, he's actually gonna do it. That's fucking awesome. Oh no, the feeds went down. Oh no, the feeds come back. Jag is keeping Matt. How am I about to rant at the Final Four? God damn it. First of all, Jag, fuck off. There's not a single, and I mean not a single reason that justifies keeping Matt in this game aside from the moral compass that you apparently held for yourself. You're supposed to be the quote-unquote good guy in this story, so you can't betray anybody. But, didn't you backstab everybody who was in that jury house right now? Where was your moral reasoning for the backstabbing of them? Oh, right. It's selective when you want to take the moral high ground. And on another note, I hate players who need a justified reason to make a move. Grasping at everything to be like, look when they said that. So I'm allowed to vote him out now. It's fucking Big Brother. You don't need any justified reason for taking anybody out of this game. I could not care less. Oh, and you don't think fucking Bowie Jane is safe from this? This is worse. She sucks so much for having no backbone in this game. It's literally more beneficial for you than it is for Jag to take out Matt. Because if Matt leaves, you actually have a chance of winning. But no, you love to agree with everything everybody says. I never want to see you on my television screen ever again. And I shouldn't have to see you on my television screen for 100 days. I'm over you. I've been over you. And just when I thought we might have gotten a fun blindside at the Final Four, nope. Felicia goes and the season continues to free for all because of this horrible, toxic trio. We lost Felicia here, who was one of the greatest casting decisions in years on Big Brother. The oldest woman to ever play the game, and she gave you literally everything you could have asked for. She brought drama, the sound bites, really messy gameplay, and I love her so much. Do I need her back? No. Honestly, not really at all. But if I can look back on this season and cry because of this final three, I'll be able to laugh afterwards thinking about everything that Felicia brought me. And I'm so thankful she was here. That's the faith of a mustard seed, baby. I'll be completely transparent here. I am making this bit of the video directly after the season finale. What the fuck just happened? Anyways, hold up. Let me try to break some of it down. So, like, yada yada, no one gives a damn about the HOH. Matt won part 1, Jag won part 2, and then Jag won part 3. Duh. I did think Jag's speech to Bowie Jane, basically begging Bowie Jane for her vote while he's, like, stabbing her in the chest, is really funny and honestly kind of a power move from Jag. I kinda fuck with it. Even if we're getting the boring Minutemen Final 2, I think 1, I'm really excited that fucking Bowie Jane is out of this game, and I never have to hear her talk ever again. She's doing exit press. I'm not listening to it. I don't give a fuck what she has to say. I was tortured for 100 days that fucking Bowie Jane was in this house. In this Big Brother house. Anytime I turned on the live feeds, there was a chance, a sliver of a chance that fucking Bowie Jane was gonna pop up on my screen and say, "Oh no, fuck off." This is a terrible casting decision. I hope Big Brother learns to never do this again. Someone who clearly didn't watch this show, someone who clearly was well off enough that she didn't give a fuck about the money, she didn't care about winning. I don't think she ever cared about winning this game. She just wanted to make a couple of friends and make it to the end with her quote-unquote friends. I think it would be really funny if they never spoke to her again. That's just a theory, a game theory. I don't know where this hatred of fucking Bowie Jane come from, but in this finale specifically, when she was live on air, every single word she spoke was terrible. Her exit press with Julie was like 5 seconds long. I hated all 5 seconds of it. Her question to Jag about Gel Mafia! Oh my god. Oh my god, just shut up. Shut up. Never speak again. No way I just went like on a 2-minute rant about fucking Bowie Jane. But if this is going to be the last I ever speak about fucking Bowie Jane, I'm going to make it count because this is the last I will ever talk about fucking Bowie Jane. If I ever say that name again on this channel, it'll be too soon. And oh boy, here we go. Bring out the red carpet. Matt just won $750,000 because, duh, this is the Cody and Derek move. This is Cody taking Derek to the end, giving Derek the win, handing Derek the win. Matt has been the better player this whole entire time. Jag has been pretty much doing whatever the hell Matt says and taking Matt to the end because of loyalty and because of the Minutemen, because Matt saved Jag all the way back then. So it's pretty obvious who's gonna win this one. And I just think it's funny to see Jag is about to get his karma. And then jury questioning hits. And oh boy, Gina Marie, you got some competition because I think Matt just gave us one of the single worst jury questioning segments of all time. Holy shit. Every single question was just bombed really badly. Never taking credit for anything, always saying it was a we effort between him and Jag. Clearly, Jag was thinking about the money, and I really respect that from Jag, and I'm happy that happened. I'll get to Jag in a minute, but from Matt, man, he didn't own anything. Obviously, I never thought that the speech or the ending was going to be Matt's strong suit. I thought it was going to be his weak point, but this was really, really bad. Like really bad. And I am glad that the outcome is the outcome that it is, considering this jury questioning. Otherwise, if Matt still wins after that speech, then what is the point of the jury questioning? Because obviously everyone already has their minds made up. And then moving to the other side on Jag, where I will say this up front, that final speech by Jag being very loud and basically showing off his ego to everyone, not a great look, Jag. I wouldn't do that. Own your game, but don't be a dick about it, okay? That's all I'm saying. People have feelings. But I will say all of his answers, he was very passionate. Even if you're wrong about it, I would rather you be loud and wrong than do whatever the fuck Matt just did, because clearly that's not going to win you $750,000. If you're loud and you're confident about what you're saying, you might just get a couple of jury votes here. And I think that's kind of what Jag did. We can talk about the only fun I had in this finale, which was that little segment when the pre-jury came in and they kind of talked about the season. Felicia and Heim, their laughs are going to live in infamy for me. Anytime anything happened, I could hear Heim's laugh in the background. I could hear Felicia's laugh in the background, and it gave me life. And Matt's one eat this entire finale was when Julie asked who he thinks is related, and he had the gumption, straight-faced, said America and Corey. Holy fuck, that was a moment in time. You should have been there. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, there's a lot of fun there, and I think that was a good 30 minutes. Was it worth the other hour and a half being not good at all? No, but that's fine. I'm sitting here pretty much waiting for the after season once everyone gets their phones back. I'm ready for it because I think there's going to be some mess, and I'm here for it. But of course, can't finish off this review without talking about the ending of the season, which in a 5-2 vote, Jag is the winner of Big Brother 25. Holy fuck. This is an all-time choke from Matt. Matt had the game handed to him on a red carpet, and he lost it. And I'm kind of happy he lost it. Fuck off, Matt. I don't even want to give you the time of day to talk about your game. Don't care. Let's get to Jag. A very controversial winner. I'm going to be straight up. Jag has an argument to be the single worst winner of all time, gameplay-wise. And I don't think anybody can argue that. Was literally voted out of the game. This is the Chris Underwood of Big Brother right here. Except probably worse than Chris Underwood. The entire pre-jury, pretty much, he played the game horribly, terribly. The only good thing he was used for was winning the vetoes that got Cameron evicted twice. And then, of course, breaks the competition record, breaks the veto record, wins all these comps, which, I still don't think he's a comp beast, but, you know, that's just my opinion. And as the first sick house guest, to be the first sick winner is really awesome, and I think that's great for him. I do think in the grand scheme of things, he represented well. I'm happy he got the win. Best winner of the final 3 by far. I think I would have been more disappointed with any of the other 2 people winning. So there's that. But I do think that he has a lot that he has to look back on and a lot that he has to reflect on from his time in the house, because there's some rocky points there. So I do hope he does that. I think Jag is a good enough guy. I do think eventually he's going to look back on it. He's going to apologize, or he's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to do right. I think he has a great family, a great supporting cast. I think it's going to end well. And looking back on it a couple months later, I do think I'm going to look fondly upon this win, being like, yes, I'm glad Jag won this, especially when the other option is Maddie Tate over here. And of course, Cameron wins AFP. Not completely shocked. It was basically going to be him or Suri at that point. Disappointed Matt got top 3. I think that's, I'm not going to say it. Not deserved. Okay, I said it. I'm sorry, but whatever. Congrats to Cameron. I do think based on the edited show, it's a win. That it for sure is. I'll tell you what. But that's Big Brother 25. It was a long 100 days. It wasn't the most exciting 100 days, but I do think at points in time, this was a great season of the show, and I do think there are a lot of great characters from this season that I will be remembering, that I will be hoping get a second chance. Not Cameron. I'm more excited for this post-game more than anything. We'll see where that goes. If anything super, super messy happens, you might just see me making a video on it, because you know I love my mess. But aside from that, I can rant about this season all I want, but overall, it is Big Brother. I will be coming back. I will be watching more seasons. You're not going to get me to stop watching Big Brother. If I can go through Big Brother All-Stars and come back like nothing happened, I can come back from this. This was nowhere near as bad. Through the ups and the downs, and the downs, and the more downs. Yeah, I'm just joking. I do hope most, if not everybody, got what they were hoping for out of this season at some point. We got to see Suri play 93 Days of Big Brother. I'm trying my best to stay positive here, because I do think there's a lot to stay positive about, despite how negative I've been, despite how negative a lot of people have been. I hope that we can look back and enjoy the good things we got from this season, and that's all I really care about, and that's all I hope most of you really care about here. But this was a long video. I'm happy I made it. I almost didn't make this video, and I think I would have regretted that. Even with the season basically going exactly how I was not hoping it would go, I'm fine with it. Fucking Bowie Jane didn't win any money. That's awesome. What more could I ask for? That's gonna do it for me. Stick around, subscribe. If you made it to the very, very end of this very, very long video, how the fuck are you doing? That's awesome. Until next time, you'll see me praying on Matt and Riley's downfall. I will see ya when I see ya. Bye-bye.